Every person has experienced pain. Some of you have felt the pain of rejection. Some have felt the pain of failure. Some have carried the weight of loss, betrayal, disappointment, or circumstances that seemed completely unfair. Pain is one thing that unites every human being on this planet. No matter where you come from, what you believe, or what you've achieved, pain eventually finds its way into your life. The question is not whether you will experience pain. The question is what you will do with it when it arrives. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid pain. They run from it, deny it, hide from it, or allow it to define them. They become trapped by their past experiences and carry old wounds into every new opportunity. They allow yesterday's struggles to determine tomorrow's possibilities. But the most extraordinary people who have ever lived understood something different. They understood that pain can become fuel. Pain can become strength. Pain can become purpose. Think about the moments that have shaped you the most. Were they the moments when everything was easy? Were they the moments when life handed you every advantage? Probably not. The moments that transformed you were the moments that challenged you. The moments that demanded more from you than you thought you had to give. The moments that forced you to grow. Pain has a unique ability to reveal who you truly are. When everything is comfortable, character remains hidden. When life becomes difficult, your values, your beliefs, your resilience, and your determination are put to the test. Adversity introduces you to strengths you didn't know existed. It forces you to discover capabilities that comfort never could. The greatest mistake people make is believing that their pain has no meaning. They ask, why is this happening to me? They focus on the event rather than the lesson. They focus on the obstacle rather than the opportunity hidden inside it. Yet every challenge carries a gift. Every struggle contains a lesson. Every painful experience offers wisdom that can change the course of your life if you're willing to learn from it. Your scars are not evidence that you were defeated. They are evidence that you survived. They are proof that you endured something difficult and kept moving forward. Every scar tells a story of resilience. Every challenge you've overcome has prepared you for something greater. The experiences that once seemed like they would break you may actually become the foundation upon which you build your greatest achievements. Many of the people who create the biggest impact in the world do so because of the pain they experienced. Someone who struggled with poverty becomes passionate about helping others achieve financial freedom. Someone who battled illness dedicates their life to helping people heal. Someone who endured rejection develops a mission to inspire confidence in others. Their pain becomes their purpose because they refuse to let suffering be wasted. When you transform pain into purpose, something powerful happens. The experience that once felt meaningless suddenly gains significance. The struggle that once felt unbearable becomes a source of strength. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? You begin asking, how can I use this experience to serve others? How can I use this lesson to grow stronger? How can I turn this challenge into something valuable? Purpose changes everything because purpose gives meaning to struggle. When people have a compelling reason to keep moving forward, they can endure incredible hardships. They can overcome obstacles that once seemed impossible. They can find strength in moments when they feel exhausted. Purpose creates resilience because it connects pain to a greater mission. You are stronger than you think. You have survived every difficult day that has come your way. You have faced challenges that once seemed overwhelming and somehow found a way through them. The evidence of your strength already exists in your life. The fact that you are here, still standing, still striving, still hoping, is proof that you possess far more resilience than you realize. Sometimes the very thing you wish had never happened becomes the thing that prepares you for your greatest contribution. The heartbreak teaches compassion. The failure teaches persistence. The disappointment teaches wisdom. The setback teaches determination. The struggle teaches gratitude. Life has a way of turning wounds into wisdom when we choose growth over bitterness. You cannot change what happened in the past, but you can change what it means. You have the power to assign meaning to every experience you've had. You can allow pain to make you weaker, or you can allow it to make you wiser. You can allow challenges to create fear, or you can allow them to build courage. The meaning you choose will shape the future you create. There is incredible power in taking ownership of your story, not because everything that happened was fair, not because every challenge was deserved, but because ownership puts you back in control. When you take responsibility for how you respond, you stop being a victim of circumstance and become the author of your future. You stop waiting for life to change and start changing your life. The people who inspire us most are not those who never suffered. They are the people who suffered and found a way to rise. They are the people who refuse to let adversity define them. They are the people who transformed their greatest struggles into their greatest strengths. Their lives remind us that pain is not the end of the story. It is often the beginning of a new chapter filled with growth, contribution, and purpose. Every challenge you face today contains the seeds of tomorrow's strength. Every obstacle carries an opportunity for transformation. Every painful experience can become a source of wisdom that benefits not only you, but everyone whose life you touch. The question is whether you will allow your pain to imprison you or empower you, whether you will allow your past to limit you or prepare you, whether you will allow your struggles to become excuses or fuel for the extraordinary future that is still waiting to be created. Every human being experiences pain. It doesn't matter where you come from, how much money you have, what your background is, or how successful you appear to be on the outside. Pain is one of the few experiences that connects all of humanity. Some people experience the pain of rejection, while others face the pain of failure. Some carry the weight of loss, heartbreak, disappointment, or uncertainty. No one escapes life's challenges. Yet while pain is unavoidable, suffering for years because of it is often a result of how we choose to respond. Many people spend their lives believing that pain controls them. They allow a difficult experience to become their identity. They get rejected once and begin calling themselves unworthy. They experience failure and convince themselves they are incapable. They face criticism and start doubting every dream they ever had. What began as a temporary event slowly becomes a permanent story in their minds. The pain itself may have lasted a moment, but the meaning attached to it can last for decades. The truth is that events do not determine your destiny. Your response to those events does. Two people can experience the exact same hardship and end up with completely different lives. One person becomes bitter, resentful, and trapped by the experience. The other becomes stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. The difference is not the pain they faced. The difference is the meaning they gave to that pain and the decisions they made afterward. When challenges appear, most people immediately ask, why is this happening to me? That question often leads them deeper into frustration and helplessness. A more powerful question is, what can I learn from this? Or how can this make me stronger? The quality of your questions determines the quality of your focus. When you focus on possibilities instead of problems, you begin to discover opportunities that were invisible before. Think about some of the strongest people you know. Chances are they didn't become strong because life was easy. They became strong because life demanded strength from them. Every challenge forced them to develop new skills, new beliefs, and new levels of resilience. The very experiences that could have broken them instead became the experiences that shaped them. Pain can either become a prison or a teacher. It can limit your future or prepare you for it. The choice belongs to you. Every setback presents a crossroads. One path leads toward excuses, blame, and victimhood. The other leads toward growth, responsibility, and empowerment. The path you choose ultimately determines who you become. You may not control every circumstance that enters your life, but you always have influence over your response. You can choose courage over fear. You can choose action over hesitation. You can choose growth over defeat. Those choices may seem small in the moment, but over time they create a completely different future. Your response to pain is one of the most powerful forces shaping your destiny. The moment you understand that, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of life and start becoming the creator of it. Most people never discover how strong they truly are because they spend their lives trying to avoid discomfort. They seek certainty, security, and convenience, believing that an easy life will make them happy, yet strength is not built in comfort. Character is not developed when everything goes according to plan. The greatest qualities within a human being are often hidden beneath the surface, waiting for a challenge powerful enough to bring them out. When life is smooth, it is easy to feel confident. It is easy to stay positive when everything is working in your favor. But true character is revealed when circumstances become difficult, when things fall apart, when expectations are shattered, when obstacles seem overwhelming. That is when you discover who you really are. Challenges strip away excuses and expose your deepest beliefs, values, and habits. They reveal whether you are willing to fight for your goals or surrender at the first sign of difficulty. Think about a piece of steel. It becomes stronger only after it passes through intense heat and pressure. Human beings are no different. Adversity applies pressure to your life, and that pressure can either break you or strengthen you. The outcome depends on how you respond. Every difficult moment presents an opportunity to develop qualities that cannot be gained any other way. Courage is developed when fear is present. Patience is developed when circumstances test your limits. Determination is developed when obstacles stand in your way. Resilience is developed when life knocks you down and demands that you get back up. Many people underestimate themselves because they judge their abilities based on what they have done during easy times. They have never been forced to push beyond their comfort zone. They have never faced a challenge that required everything they had. Then life presents them with a situation they never expected. And suddenly they discover strengths they didn't know existed. They find the ability to endure hardship, solve difficult problems, and keep moving forward even when the odds seem impossible. History is filled with examples of individuals who discovered their greatness through adversity. Ordinary people have accomplished extraordinary things because difficult circumstances demanded extraordinary effort. The challenge became the catalyst for growth. The obstacle became the opportunity. What seemed like a setback became the very thing that unlocked their potential. One of the most important realizations you can have is that adversity is not always happening to you. Sometimes it is happening for you. It is preparing you for responsibilities you are not yet ready to carry. It is teaching lessons that success alone could never teach. It is building emotional muscles that will serve you for the rest of your life. The struggle you are facing today may be developing qualities that become essential for the opportunities you will encounter tomorrow. Every challenge leaves you with a choice. You can focus on what has been taken from you, or you can focus on what is being developed within you. You can view adversity as evidence that life is unfair, or you can view it as a training ground for future success. The people who grow the most are those who learn to see challenges as opportunities for transformation. They understand that hidden within every difficulty is the chance to become stronger, wiser, and more capable than they were before. Every struggle that enters your life arrives carrying two things: a challenge and a lesson. Most people see only the challenge. They become so focused on the difficulty, the frustration, and the discomfort that they miss the wisdom hidden inside the experience. They see the obstacle standing in front of them, but they fail to recognize the opportunity that exists within it. Yet some of the most valuable lessons you will ever learn come from the moments you never wanted to experience. Life has a way of teaching us through contrast. We learn the value of success after experiencing failure. We appreciate loyalty after facing betrayal. We understand strength after enduring weakness. We discover courage after confronting fear. Without challenges, many of life's most important lessons would remain invisible. The struggles we face often reveal truths about ourselves and the world that comfort never could. When people encounter setbacks, they often ask, "Why is this happening to me?" That question tends to keep them trapped in frustration. It directs all their attention toward the problem rather than the possibility. A more empowering question is, what is this experience trying to teach me? That single shift in perspective can completely transform the way you approach adversity. Instead of becoming a victim of circumstances, you become a student of life. Failure, for example, is one of the greatest teachers available to us. Yet most people fear it so much that they avoid taking risks altogether. They see failure as proof that they are not capable, when in reality, it is often proof that they are growing. Every successful person has failed repeatedly. What separates them from others is not the absence of failure, but their willingness to learn from it. They analyze their mistakes, adjust their approach, and keep moving forward. Failure becomes feedback rather than a final verdict. The same principle applies to every form of struggle. Rejection can teach resilience. Disappointment can teach patience. Financial hardship can teach resourcefulness. Loss can teach gratitude. Difficult relationships can teach emotional intelligence. Every challenge carries knowledge that can strengthen your character if you are willing to receive it. The lesson may not be obvious in the moment, but over time it often becomes clear that the struggle was preparing you for something greater. Opportunities are frequently disguised as problems. This is why so many people miss them. They expect opportunities to arrive in attractive packages, but life rarely works that way. Often the greatest opportunities appear in the form of obstacles that demand growth. They require you to become more disciplined, more courageous, more creative, or more determined than you have ever been before. The challenge itself becomes the doorway to a new level of capability. Some of the most successful innovations, businesses, and life-changing decisions have emerged from periods of difficulty. People faced problems they could not ignore, and those problems forced them to find solutions. What began as a struggle eventually became an opportunity that transformed their lives. Had the challenge never appeared, the growth would never have occurred. When you begin looking for lessons instead of limitations, your relationship with adversity changes. You stop seeing difficulties as roadblocks and start seeing them as stepping stones. You understand that every experience, no matter how painful, contains something valuable. The challenge may test you, but it can also teach you. The struggle may slow you down, but it can also prepare you. Hidden within every obstacle is the potential for growth, wisdom, and a greater future than you can currently imagine. One of the most powerful transformations a person can experience is turning pain into purpose. Pain by itself can feel heavy, confusing, and overwhelming. It can leave people questioning their future, doubting their abilities, and wondering if their struggles have any meaning at all. But when pain becomes connected to a purpose, everything changes. The experience that once seemed like a burden begins to take on a deeper significance. The struggle is no longer just something that happened to you. it becomes something that can serve you and even serve others. Purpose has the ability to give meaning to suffering. Human beings can endure incredible challenges when they have a compelling reason to keep moving forward. History is filled with people who overcame extraordinary adversity because they were connected to something larger than themselves. Their purpose gave them strength when their circumstances tried to take it away. It gave them direction when they felt lost. It gave them hope when everything around them seemed uncertain. Many people spend years trying to forget painful experiences. They wish certain events had never happened. They carry regret, anger, or sadness because of what they endured. While those feelings are understandable, healing often begins when a person asks a different question. Instead of asking, how do I erase this experience? They ask, how can I use this experience? That question opens the door to transformation. It shifts attention away from what was lost and toward what can be created. Some of the most inspiring people in the world discovered their life's mission through their deepest struggles. Someone who battled addiction dedicates their life to helping others recover. Someone who experienced poverty becomes determined to teach financial literacy. Someone who endured rejection becomes passionate about building confidence in others. Their pain becomes a source of wisdom, empathy, and contribution. The very thing that once hurt them becomes the thing that allows them to make a difference. Purpose does not remove pain, but it changes your relationship with it. When suffering feels meaningless, it can drain your energy and motivation. But when you see how your experiences can create value, the burden begins to feel lighter. You realize that your struggles have equipped you with unique insights and strengths that others may not possess. You begin to understand that your experiences have prepared you to help people in ways that someone without those experiences never could. Every challenge you have faced has taught you something. Every setback has given you knowledge. Every difficult season has developed qualities within you that can benefit others. The lessons you learn through hardship are not meant to remain locked inside your own story. They can become tools that inspire, guide, encourage, and empower those who are walking a similar path. Purpose also creates resilience. When your life is connected to a meaningful mission, you become less likely to quit when obstacles appear. Difficulties no longer feel like reasons to stop. They become reasons to continue. You understand that your journey is about more than your own comfort. It is about growth, contribution, and impact. That understanding gives you the strength to keep moving forward even when progress feels slow. The most remarkable thing about turning pain into purpose is that it allows you to reclaim power over your past. Instead of being defined by what happened to you, you begin to define what happens because of it. The pain that once seemed like a limitation becomes a source of strength. The struggle that once felt meaningless becomes part of a mission. What once appeared to be your greatest weakness can become one of your greatest gifts when it is connected to a purpose that inspires action and creates positive change. One of the most liberating moments in a person's life is when they decide to take ownership of their story, not because everything that happened was fair, not because every challenge was deserved, not because life always treated them the way it should have. Taking ownership is not about accepting blame for every event that occurred. It is about accepting responsibility for what happens next. It is the decision to stop allowing the past to control the future and start taking control of the direction of your life. Many people become trapped because they spend years focusing on who hurt them, what went wrong, or how different life could have been if circumstances had been better. While those experiences may be real and painful, remaining focused on them often gives away personal power. The more a person believes their future is controlled by their past, the less likely they are to create meaningful change. They begin to see themselves as victims of circumstance rather than creators of possibility. The truth is that your story is not defined by what happened to you. It is defined by what you choose to do with what happened. Two people can experience the same setback and create completely different futures. One person allows the experience to become a permanent excuse. The other uses it as motivation to grow stronger. The event may be identical, but the response determines the outcome. Taking ownership begins with recognizing that while you cannot always control external events, you can control your decisions, your actions, and your mindset. This realization is incredibly empowering because it shifts your focus away from things you cannot change and toward things you can influence. Instead of wasting energy wishing the past were different, you begin investing energy in creating a better future. Ownership also requires honesty. It requires looking at your life and asking difficult questions. What habits are holding you back? What beliefs are limiting your growth? What excuses have you been using to avoid taking action? These questions are not always comfortable, but they are necessary. Growth begins the moment you become willing to confront the truth about where you are and where you want to go. One of the reasons people avoid ownership is because it feels easier to blame circumstances. Blame offers temporary relief because it shifts responsibility elsewhere, but it also removes control. When someone else is responsible for your future, you become dependent on them for change. Ownership works differently. Ownership says, I may not have caused everything that happened, but I am responsible for what I do now. That mindset creates freedom because it places your future back into your own hands. Every successful person eventually reaches a point where they stop waiting for perfect conditions. They stop waiting for someone to rescue them, motivate them, or give them permission. They make a decision to take responsibility for their growth, their goals, and their actions. They understand that while they cannot rewrite the past, they can write the next chapter. Your story contains challenges, failures, victories, lessons, and experiences that are uniquely yours. None of those things have the power to define you unless you allow them to. The moment you take ownership, you begin viewing your life through a different lens. You stop seeing obstacles as proof that you cannot succeed and start seeing them as opportunities to become stronger. You stop identifying with your limitations and start focusing on your possibilities. There is incredible strength in knowing that your future is not determined by your circumstances, but by your choices. Every day gives you another opportunity to make decisions that move you closer to the person you want to become. Ownership is not a one-time act. It is a daily commitment to growth, responsibility, and action. It is the decision to become the author of your story rather than a spectator watching life happen from the sidelines. As you leave here today, remember this: your pain does not have the final say in your life. Your setbacks do not define you. Your failures do not determine your future. Every challenge you have faced, every obstacle you have overcome, and every wound you carry has the potential to become a source of strength, wisdom, and purpose. The people who create extraordinary lives are not the ones who avoid pain. They are the ones who learn how to transform it. They refuse to let hardship make them bitter. They choose to let it make them better. They understand that adversity is not a dead end, but a doorway to growth. They know that every struggle contains a lesson, every setback contains an opportunity, and every difficult season can prepare them for something greater. Right now, you have a choice. You can continue carrying your pain as a burden, or you can begin using it as fuel. You can allow your past to limit your future, or you can allow it to strengthen your resolve. You can focus on what happened to you, or you can focus on who you are becoming because of it. The truth is that some of the greatest gifts in your life may be hidden inside the challenges you once wished had never happened. The strength you need, the wisdom you seek, and the purpose you desire may already be growing within the very struggles you are facing today. Stand tall, own your story, embrace the lessons, trust your ability to rise. Let your scars remind you of your resilience, not your weakness. Let your challenges remind you of your courage, not your fear. And let your pain become the force that drives you toward a life of meaning, impact, and fulfillment, because your greatest struggle does not have to become your greatest limitation. It can become your greatest source of power. And when you choose to turn pain into purpose, there is no limit to what you can achieve, who you can become, or how many lives you can inspire along the way.